Gape Island, Gape Island. I came here for Gapes. If you know, you know. I came here for the Gape and the wine and the food. Okay, so listen, I have been dreaming about doing this trip. I'm so excited. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, then you also hopefully are interested in coming with me. And the reason why I'm doing this trip, first of all, if you follow a lot of the other influencer hookers out there, there is a platform. Sorry if I just like cracked my knuckles. Like, was that triggering? Hopefully no one got triggered. Don't get mad at me. It's like such a thing of habit. Anyways, ADD. So there's this thing called Trip where it's like this third party company that plans trips for influencers and then they can invite along people. And I have been kind of contemplating doing that because I always want to do a trip with you guys. Like, I feel like that would be so much fun. And you know, like I just like when I was looking through the details, like number one, you're staying in like 2 to 3 star hostels, which nothing wrong with that, like of course, but it's also just super expensive. And Trip takes like a huge portion of that. So, you know, I was like trying to figure out how I could maybe do this by myself. And one place that I feel so confident and so excited to share with you guys is Florence and the Tuscany region in Italy. So, to give you some background, Italian studies technically was my minor in college. I studied abroad in Florence for 6 months, and I actually ended up extending it because I was so obsessed with Florence. So I've been all around the area. Also, since studying abroad, I've been back to Florence at least 6 times, just because number one, it's again my favorite city in the world. It's my favorite place in the world. And I also had done, I don't know if you've been following since then, but in 2021, I did Italy's Got Talent. Yeah. So I was over there for 2 weeks. But we've been back a couple times. I again cannot say enough good things about Italy. So this is like for people if you've been before or if you've never been before, this is perfect either way. Like either way, you're going to get like a little bit of everything on this trip, okay? So here's what we have to do. So here just to go into the details, okay? So I put together a example itinerary of all the activities that I want to bring you guys on, which include every meal is going to be catered. So breakfast is going to be catered every single morning. There'll be someone that'll come and cook for us. And then lunch will be either like one day we're going on a Chianti wine tour. Lunch will be included there. If we go into Florence, I will pay all of the bills. So once you pretty much get to the villa or you get to Italy, everything is going to be covered going forward. So all of the transportation to and back from Florence when we go and do some day trips, any again of the wine food that'll be eaten, no matter if we go out in Florence or if we do it at the villa, I will be taken care of. Really, the only thing that you need to pay for are number one, your flights. And the only other thing is just getting transportation from Florence Airport to the villa. It's just going to be too complicated to like try and schedule everyone and like, you know, again, like some people, I don't know if like you're going to have Wi-Fi or you're going to have service to be able to call me and let me know when you need to get picked up. But there are tons of taxis at the airport. You could easily grab a taxi and get a taxi over to the villa. And the villa is going to be about 15-20 minutes away from the airport and like downtown Florence. So like Florence, downtown Florence, the airport's right here and our villa is like off to the side. So everything is going to be really easy to get around. So again, I tried to make this as cost effective as possible. Originally I had said like around 2,000, but then once I had to hire a lawyer. So lawyers are not cheap. That cost me a couple $1,000s to come up with the contract just to make sure everyone feels safe. The villa feels safe. I feel safe. So that costs a lot, obviously renting the villa itself. And then all of these activities and the food. And I want to, you know, just make sure no one's going to go hungry. No one's going to be thirsty. Okay. I can promise you that. And again, in the email, you'll see a light itinerary and you can kind of do whatever you want. Like if there are some days that you just want to hang out, and this will be very flexible schedule too, of course, depending on weather. So the dates are March 1st through March 6th. So 6 days, 5 nights. and it'll be March, and in Italy in March, it could be 60s, it could be 70s. It probably will get a little chilly at night. It might get down to the 50s at night, but there's a pool, it's heated, and it's salt water, and it will be open. So if there's a day that's absolutely gorgeous, obviously we want to walk around Florence some days too, but if you want to hang by the pool one day and just like chill at the villa, that's totally fine. Like, it's really, again, it's only 15-20 minute drive depending on traffic to downtown Florence. So you can do whatever you want. And another question is the guest situation. So here's the thing. I wanted to make this as small of a group as I could this first time around. The idea is like this goes well, and then I can do, as many as you people want. If you like, like the dream would be like to do this like every couple months or something, or maybe even do other spots. Like I was thinking also another place that I know very, very well is Maine. So we were like, oh, that might be fun to do like next summer. I rent a big place and we do like a Maine version of this. So this is just like the first time, and obviously not everyone is going to be able to come. There are 6 bedrooms. So obviously me and James are in one, and then there's 5 other bedrooms, and they all are queen size beds. So obviously each room can fit 2 people, and then each bedroom also has their own private bathroom. So I think there's about like 8 bathrooms. Of course, every person will have their own ensuite private bathroom in their room. So you and your roommate will be sharing that bathroom. You'll have that all to yourself. So, of course, some people have asked you, like, I'm single, or I don't know if I could find someone else to go. Here's how this is going to work, okay? So I am going to set a date, and it's going to be Sunday, September 1st, okay? So that's in a little, like about 2 weeks from now. That's a Sunday. And what I'm going to do is have everything go live to sign up at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, September 1st. So it's going to be first come, first serve. I've done some light screening. So if you made it to this point, I have like looked up a little, you've been searched. But for, that's why I have a contract, honestly, too. Like, I'm not going to be able to completely like screen out, like if you're weird, like that's what, like we love weird, like hopefully no one's like illegally weird, but that's the idea, is why we have a contract in place and a light screening in place. Also, I've kind of made it a rule that like 2 guys to 1 room might be weird. I don't know if like that's too much, but like I feel like if you're just like 2 random guys that come on this trip, like you need a female in your party. You can be whatever you like. I don't even know how to say this, PC, but I just feel like it would be weird if we had like 2 bros who are like in their 20s. Like, I don't know. And plus, I don't even think that they are gonna like want to be on this trip, but like, just so you know, like, I'm not gonna have like just 2 random dudes, or like, even like weirdo, like 2 guys like in their 60s who like want to come on this trip. Like, we'll make sure to some degree that they will fit the vibe. They know the vibe. But because it's first come, first serve, so literally I'm going to give a link. I'm going to send an email out on Sunday, September 1st at 12 p.m. and say first come, first serve. Whoever clicks up this link and fills out the information first, I'm just going to go down the list of when every application comes in first. So if I go to the first person and they're like, hey, I really want to go, but I'm a single party, but I'm willing to room with someone else. If I can get to another single person before everything's booked, you're in luck. But I have a feeling for this round, like it's just going to make my life a lot easier if you're like, you have a roommate, you have a sister, you have a friend, you have a significant other, whatever, already pre-planned. That will just make my life a lot easier. Again, hopefully with trips in the future, if we're able to do this on a little bit of a larger scale, I don't think I'd ever do like more than 20 people, just because then it gets crazy. But maybe being able to do something like that where then I can like, basically like hook people up. So it's gonna be first come, first serve. So when I send out the email, I'll put in the description of this video the link, just to make sure that I have your correct email to email you on the 1st, okay? So make sure that you filled out the link that's going to be in this description. If you're 100% in, if you're like, I'm in, I'm ready to put down the deposit and go, fill out the SurveyMonkey link below. And all of those emails I will be emailing together at the same time on September 1st at 12 p.m. And I think that's going to be the fairest way to do it, because I don't have like a third party platform to sign up. That's just gonna have to be the easiest way to do it. Okay. So I'm trying to think if there are any other questions. So again, by September 1st, you will have to be ready to put your half of, your deposit down, the $1,375 down per person. And remember, it's per person because, again, between transportation, all the legal stuff, also I had said before about 2,000, 2,500, but I also didn't think about tip, which tipping is not huge in Europe, but I just want to be able to give like 10%, especially people at the villa, the chef that come and cook us meals. I want to be able to give them a little something. I want them to be like, wow, Americans are great, so that's why the price went up just a teeny tiny bit, just so I can cover the tip. But again, I really am making literally no money on this. Like I'm like in the hole. Because again, by the time breakfast for each person, it's $35 for breakfast. For lunch, on average, it's gonna be about like $100 a person per lunch. Dinner is about $150. Plus, I gotta get all the wine, plus all the transportation. Again, tips and all that other stuff. It's gonna be, it'll be more expensive than I originally thought, but it'll be still less than like me doing this through a Trover trip. And I feel like I can do this myself just because I know this area so well and I've been here so many times. I also do speak Italian. Also, I'm going to put the link to the Airbnb below. Obviously, the address is not listed. So you can't just show up if you don't get first come, first serve. But you can look at the place. You can see the vibes. It is such a cool villa. It's built in the 17th century. It's been in this family for 3 generations. And there is a little house too on the property where the owners are going to stay. So we're never going to be like completely alone, which I kind of actually prefer. There'll be someone doing cleanings on a daily basis. There'll be someone coming to do the gardens and making sure everything's cleaned up, so we don't have to worry about cleaning up. And also there are a lot of like different sitting rooms. There are little living rooms. There's outdoor areas that you can sit down outside. So you can always like get your own space and free time too, because also I will say, like, I will still have to do a little bit of work. I obviously will still have to be editing and doing some content stuff. So there'll be some time where I'll need a couple hours to maybe by myself in the room. So like, that's fine. Like, again, if you just want to like chill at the villa the entire time, that's fine too. But again, September 1st, I'll put the link below. Hopefully that's all the questions. But if you do have any questions, I did make an email for, and let me just get it for you. It's Gaping in Italy, and I'll put this below too, but it's Gaping in Italy 2025 at gmail.com. So email that directly if there are any other questions ahead of time. But if not, we'll be back in touch. I will email all of you September 1st at 12 p.m. Put it in your calendars, put a reminder, but I will send the email out at that time. And again, first come, first serve. This is going to be so much fun. Sorry for yelling.